Hello there, woven web enthusiasts. Today we have people sharing their experiences of receiving a compliment, the power of kind words, and how men can remember a compliment for years. Available Switch 377 writes, "A woman complimented me in the airport years ago. 4 years ago, when I was 21, I was sitting on one of those train shuttles that take you to different terminals and minding my own business. Every seat on the shuttle was taken. I look up from my phone and see an elderly woman come on board with a cane, and when she walked near me, I stood up, smiled at her, and offered her my seat. She looked at me smiling, looking relieved, and said, 'Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you.' Now that part made me smile, but what caught me off guard is the woman sitting across from us. She must have been in her mid-30s, serious-looking, Eastern European-type accent. She looks me up and down, looks directly in my eyes, and says in a loud, matter-of-fact tone, 'Of course he's kind. He's a gentleman,' with an emphasis on the word gentleman. And in that moment, I felt so confident, so self-content, warm and alive. I've never felt that way before, and I've not felt that way since. I simply smiled, thanked her, and went back to looking at my phone. Man, I still feel warm and happy when I think about it. I still occasionally get the opportunity to be a good person, but nothing has compared to that." And for the comments, Nat writes, "It goes to show how unaccustomed men are to being complimented. If a woman compliments a man, he'll remember it for his entire life." And the next comment, "I'll never forget that girl selling car wax outside the grocery store who told me I had really nice eyes. That was 9 years ago." Raltar writes, "Yeah, I was in the 10th grade, and in my English class, a girl said I had pretty eyes. I didn't know what to do, and I got embarrassed, but I'll remember it forever. The guy sitting next to me was like, 'You're supposed to compliment her too,' but I was too flustered to do anything." Puzzled Reflection shares, "A random woman stopped me on the street about 5 years ago. She literally put her hands on my face, leaned in a bit, and said, 'You have the most amazing eyes I've ever seen,' then went on her way. I'll never forget it." And Boomba shares, "I remember when I was at a department store, but on the way out I quickly checked my hair in the mirror and didn't notice I was in the cosmetics section. And the young lady in the back behind the counter complimented, saying, 'Don't worry, you look fine.' And I was so happy I came home and told my wife about the interaction, and I learned that day to never tell my wife any good things that happens to me with other women." And 937 shares, "My lesson on that was in 2019 when I told my then girlfriend about getting my order memorized by the girl working at the bagel shop down the street from work. I just wanted to share it because it was so weird to me." The next comment, "And the bagel lady was never seen again." Followed up by, "My girlfriend bought an espresso machine to keep me out of the coffee shop for that exact reason." And back to the main line of comments, SoCal Warrior says, "I was in Turkey and a woman told me I had beautiful eyes. My wife of 22 years has never told me that. I'll never forget it." Dunk the Tall says, "I swear having blue eyes is a cheat code for men to get compliments. It's good for at least a compliment a year. All the other guys, we have to wait a decade between compliments." Birdgen writes, "My freshman year of high school, a girl told me I had nice hands, and it was both weird and really encouraging to hear. When I was a senior, another girl told me I had good eyebrows, which I'd never thought about before but suddenly felt confident about. It's funny how those little things stick so deep. Of course, the opposite is also true. I remember every single time someone said something that made me feel bad about my appearance or just how I am. Like that group of girls in middle school who yelled at me to pick up my feet more when I walk. Or the little girl who asked her mom what was wrong with my teeth because they were crooked before braces. Words cut both ways." A deleted account says, "I think it's a regional thing. I'm a Midwesterner, and as a woman, I hand out compliments to men like candy. Nice haircut. You smell nice. Love that shirt. How polite. All sorts of compliments all the time. I also compliment women quite often. I'm an equal opportunity gasser-upper." Zagane writes, "Almost 60 years ago, as I was writing on a chalkboard, an attractive girl about my age said I had really nice handwriting. Till this day, I always make sure that I never scribble or rush when I am writing. all due to that one compliment. And finally, Shore 60 shares a quote from Mark Twain: "I could live for a month on a good compliment."